This Kwanzaa is being brought to you by Sister Kim Poole, the Teaching Artists Institute. And do you want to give us a formal welcome, or are we going to just kick right into the libations?
Yes. Habari Gani. Habari Gani. Today is a beautiful day, global African people. Today we celebrate our collective unity. Umoja. Umoja is the principle of today. Before we begin, of course, we're going to give homage and we're going to acknowledge our ancestors with a libation by one of our Babas here in Baltimore City, USA, Baba Hannibal L. He's based in Baltimore, so if you'll spotlight his camera, then we'll get the celebration started.
The drum. I will now perform the ceremony of Tambien, which is also called libation, but in the African language, we call it Tambien. Tambien is a means of communicating with our ancestors, those of our families, our national heroes and sheroes, and international heroes and sheroes. We use fresh water to symbolize purity and generativity. It is poured from a clean vessel to symbolize the renewal and refreshment that precedes productivity. We salute in a certain order. First, we salute the Almighty Creator, which we call by many names. Then we salute our honored ancestors that will sit at the feet of the Most High in the next lifetime to come. We salute those honored ancestors that are fortunate enough to have been buried on the continent of Africa. We salute those who died in the Great Biafra, the Middle Passage, and the slave trade. Ancestors whose names are not known. I will start now. Whichever name you call the Most High, I call it the Most High. And when we pour the water, we use the word Ashe, which means so be it. It's sort of like saying amen. And that is a Yoruba word. So we say Ashe when we pour water. So I will begin the Tambien. We pay honor and tribute and salute the Most High. We say Ashe.
Ashe.
We salute those honored ancestors that will sit at the feet of the Most High in the lifetime to come. And we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Pour Tambien to those honored ancestors that are fortunate enough to have been buried on the continent of Africa. We say Ashe.
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 Pour Tambien for all those ancestors that were lost in the Great Biafra, the Middle Passage, and the slave trade. We say Ashe.
Ashe.
For all those ancestors who are not known.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Now, in the order that we go in, we call out the names of ancestors that are in our own family line. I will begin with calling out my family members. Grandma's Hedi.
Ashe.
Williams. Frank Williams. Sadie Moore. Inez Spicer. Gaither Spicer.
Ashe.
Uncle Arthur. Aunt Murray.
Ashe.
I will now call, that's not a complete list of all my ancestors, but I will now call out local heroes and sheroes. B. Gaddy,
Ashe.
Ashe.
Reginald F. Lewis,
Ashe.
Ashe.
Bert Parker,
Ashe.
Mitchell, Clarence Mitchell, Thurgood Marshall,
Ashe.
Benjamin Banneker,
Ashe.
Frederick Douglass.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Now we'll call out national heroes and sheroes. Dr. J.A. Rogers,
Ashe.
Denmark Vesey,
Ashe.
Gabriel Prosser,
Ashe.
Ashe.
Washington,
Ashe.
El Haj Malik El Shabazz, we know him as Malcolm X, Dr.
Ashe.
Betty Shabazz, Dr. Francis Prince Weldon, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth,
Ashe.
Ashe.
Adam Clayton Powell,
Ashe.
Joe Gans, Brown Parker, Joe Lewis,
Ashe.
Great Muhammad Ali,
Ashe.
Ashe.
I'll call out some international heroes now. Jomo Kenyatta,
Ashe.
Kwame Nkrumah, Stephen Biko,
Ashe.
Queen Nzinga, Toussaint
Ashe.
Louverture,
Ashe.
children of Soweto,
Ashe.
Queen Nzinga, Queen of Sheba,
Ashe.
Emil Cabral,
Ashe.
George Padmore,
Ashe.
calling out some more names as the water runs out. Have a little more water than me.
Dr. John Henry Clark,
Dr. John Henry
Yakinen.
Clark.
Ashe.
Chancellor Williams,
Yes, Ashe,
Sheikh Anta Diop,
Ashe,
Dr. Evelyn Van Sertima,
Ashe,
Ishaka Maso Barshango,
Ashe, call some female names.
Dorothy Cutaway.
Ashe,
Honorable Harriet Tubman,
Hey, Lazarati.
Queen Nzinga,
Queen Mother,
Ashe,
Maya Angelou.
Ashe,
Ida B.
Madam
Well.
C.J. Walker,
Fannie Lou Hamer,
Dr. Dorothy Height,
Ella Fitzgerald.
Ashe.
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Dr.
King.
Coretta
Big Barrels,
Scott
Queen Annie.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Dr.
Ashe,
Betty Shabazz,
Ashe.
Ashe,
Queen Mother Moore.
Ashe,
Queen
Ella.
Nzinga,
Ashe, Ella
Queen
Fitzgerald,
Hester
Billie Holiday, Cab Calloway,
Ya Santawa.
Ashe,
Queen Ty.
Ashe,
Ndaki.
Ashe,
Malkia Brantuo.
Ashe,
For some of us from Europe, this is the time for you to say the name of your ancestors. If there's someone that has transitioned on from your own personal family lineage with our European brothers and sisters, now is the time for you to say their name. Say it out loud. Unmute your microphones so that we can all hear, so that they can hear it too. Ashe.
Wangari Maathai,
Ashe,
Howard,
Ashe,
Ruby Thomas,
Ashe,
Tracy Cross,
Ashe,
Ashe.
Michelle Martin, Dorothy Nat Jackson, Turner.
Granddaddy Lee. Ashe.
Ashe,
Grandfather
Ashe,
Grandma Vera,
Ashe,
Daddy Gilmore,
Ashe.
Sister Jessica,
Okay,
Sister Pat,
when there's a little bit of water left,
Corbett,
we pour libation, Tambien,
daughter
for those who
Dulcinea,
not We pour Tampico for those not mentioned. We say Ashe.
Ashe.
Hey,
We pour Tampico for those who await justice. We say Ashe.
Ashe.
Tampico
Ashe.
is finished.
Asheo.
I will now recite the African pledge. I pledge allegiance to my people, the African race, the original man and woman of the earth, and the founders of civilization. I pledge to continue the struggle which will help to bring my beloved brothers and sisters to total freedom. I pledge to study and discipline myself mentally, physically, spiritually, so that I may grow into a soldier for justice. For my people need strong and intelligent warriors. I pledge to live my life standing tall, for a person on his or her knees is not respected. If I am challenged, I must say, I will not surrender my position nor my dignity, but instead I will endure until the final victory is won. And we do 7 Harambes. 1, 2, 3, Harambe, 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 Harambe. Pledge is complete.
Yes, Elder, thank you so much. Baba Hannibal L.
Hannibal L. You're welcome.
Yes, Baba Hannibal L. That's how we clap in the African worldview. We are the rhythm people. We clap with the first heartbeat, the first drum that's inside our chest. In the beginning was heart drum. With this vibration, we gave rhythm to the world. On this beat, we sing life. We are the rhythm people. Today on this glorious global African Kwanzaa celebration, I'm excited to be joined by African people around the world. It's important that we acknowledge how significant it is for us to come together this year from different regions geographically, because we were separated. We were separated intentionally. Kwanzaa was a celebration that was first acknowledged in the US in the 60s. And I think that this year I learned how sometimes the socio-political drama around some of those that brought this celebration to our acknowledgement has divided us within our community. But I'm excited today because we've come together. I'm excited because socio-political drama aside, individuals and personalities aside, we have decided to unite in spite of that, because there are 7 principles that Kwanzaa acknowledges: the first fruits, the first harvest, 7 principles that remind us of who we are as African people, 7 principles that we're going to celebrate the entire week, starting today with Umoja Unity. My name is Kim Poole. I'm with the Teaching Artists Institute, and we will be hosting this year alongside our brothers and sisters in the Netherlands, in Europe, with the International Africa School. I'd like to give Odilia Anyachi an opportunity to grace us with her presence and say a few words, just to give you an understanding of what will happen today. After she welcomes you, I will continue with a discussion of our advocacy work with the Teaching Artists Institute, the Rhythm People campaign, watching a small clip of our budding documentary that we hope all of you will eventually be a part of, to tell us your story. Then we'll allow Odilia to speak, and we will close our ceremony and celebration today with a welcome, a karibuni, from our brothers and sisters in Bagamoyo, Tanzania. The Art Tank competition winners will be doing a live presentation at Tsuba, the College of Arts and Culture in the historic city of Bagamoyo. So I'm really excited about everything we have planned today to celebrate that unity, to celebrate it not just as an idea, but as an action, as a practice. We are today demonstrating unity in practice. We are the rhythm people. Odilia, are you with us?
Yes, thank you, Kim. I was very emotional because this is the very first time I am, witnessing and experiencing Kwanzaa. And it has just blown my mind. It actually took me to another spiritual level. We are so excited that for the first time we are having a communal meal, although it's a virtual one, with my brothers and sisters from America, from the motherland, Africa, and even from Europe. And this actually demonstrates our unity, actually the 7 principles, because Kim, you have brought us together. You chose to bring us together. And you have brought the Ujamaa, a pool of the network with the talents, and with your creativity also, and you had faith in this wonderful Kwanzaa celebration. I welcome everybody who is part of this community now, and I just say, sit back and enjoy this process. Thank you.
Is my blanket in the car? Is my blanket in the car? The one that I was laying over here with?
Kim?
Stripe blue.
Yes.
Stripe black.
Thank you so much, Odilia. We appreciate the for recognizing the importance of promoting and preserving African culture and identity in the diaspora as well as at home in Africa. Being an African in your mind and in your heart is reminiscent of Kwame Nkrumah's infamous quote. He said, "I'm not African because I was born in Africa. I'm African because Africa was born in me." So thank you to all of the global Africans that are living outside of Africa that understands the importance of promoting and preserving the African identity in the diaspora specifically, because we went through the Ma'afa, or what some of us call the transatlantic enslavement trade. And so I appreciate you, and we acknowledge your effort to unite us today. The Rhythm People campaign is an attempt to promote and preserve the African identity in order to reclaim our global cultural economy. As a result of the Ma'afa and all of the cultural appropriation, as a community, we have suffered an identity crisis. So we sometimes wonder within our own community what it really means to be African. Historically, we have always been different. Even within one geographic location, let's choose Nigeria, you have the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Hausa, so many different groups of people, so many different languages. As a community globally, we have always been different. We have always had multiple cultures, but there are some parts of who we are that run and demonstrate our connection. There are some foundational things in our community that connect us in spite of our difference. Those things make us stronger. Our differences make us stronger, and those things that demonstrate how we stay and remain connected, even in our difference, those things are also a part of our strength. So as we talk about unity today, in the Rhythm People campaign, we're gonna show a quick snippet of our documentary so that you can hear from your own, so that you can hear from the voices of Rhythm People globally that are gonna discuss our differences. Angela, I'm gonna post the link to the YouTube video inside of our WhatsApp group chat. I'll post it here into the chat. Please bring that link up. It looks like it's there. Okay, guys, as soon as we push play, we're going to give you a snippet from our Rhythm People campaign, celebrating our difference and our resilience all at once. Angela, we do not hear the sound. I think maybe we should go back just a little so that we can push play and actually hear this.
Let me know if you hear something now.
We do not.
You're not hearing any sound?
No.
Okay, just a second. Not sure why. Okay, hold on a second. Let me. Is it because I have a spotlight on? Not sure. Okay, let me know if you actually see the screen. I'm gonna go back. I'm sharing again. Do you see the screen?
Yes.
Do you hear anything now?
Yes, we do. It's very low, but we can hear it.
Woo! Okay, let's take a.
Let me see if I can turn it.
We can bridge that gap of unity between African Americans and Africans.
I'm sorry. Let me see if I can turn it up. I don't know. I'm gonna try to turn this all the way up. It's maximum. Okay, one more go. One more shot.
We are the rhythm people. Woo! Okay, let's take a. What is one of the ways that we can bridge that gap of unity between African Americans and Africans?
Okay, well, two things: education and tolerance. By tolerance and education, if you are educated, mostly we Africans, if we're educated.
Kodaya kakamani pajawaramina, Kodaya kakamani musalilala, Kodaya kakamani pajawaramina, Sumawara galila, Jaja sumawara galila, Sumawara gati galila. Amo, merci beaucoup. Yeah, yeah.
My name is Bernard Ambata Elamona. I come from Sankana in the Upper West region. Sankana is a historical town where Samori Ture, one of the slave raiders, was defeated in 1896. And since then, the people of Sankana have always celebrated Kalibis Festival, where Ras Bademo has come to perform on many occasions. What is significant is that slavery did not start from Accra or Kumasi. What happens is that people of northern extraction who had the physique, who had the energy, who were hardworking, were actually the people that the slave raiders wanted. So they harvested them from the north and transported them through the southern part and eventually Accra and Elmina, which became the final point before they were taken to the diaspora, whether into Brazil or into the Americas. And so therefore, we think that when you come and you are returning home, you don't come to where you settled in Accra. You should go back to your roots, and your roots will necessarily take you to the north, the Upper West region, the Upper East region, and the Northern region. And in particular, there is a market where slaves were sold in Salaga, which is in the Northern region. It is important to go and see how human beings were chained, were pegged like animals, and offered on auction, so that the slave raiders came there to buy. So I look forward to the diaspora coming back to their roots and ensuring that we are able to build the foundation to start strong.
I have more African ancestry than you'd be surprised. So what happens is that, you know, how I dress or whatever, right? But when we talk about whether you're African American, Afro-French, or Afro-Spanish, our roots, you know, do come from Africa. And so, like, when we talk about the djembe and West African drum, the goat skin, so when we talk about our bomba, we use goat skin. So what happens, you hear this music, it's very relevant, and it sounds familiar, right? So what's different? The drum shell, right? The djembe shell, and then you have like the bomba. So why is the djembe was made in Africa, and this bomba drum is made in Puerto Rico? Well, what happens when you take, let's say, Ghana, and you enslave the African, and you bring them over to the island, and there is no djembe on the island. What can he help? He still remembers how to make his drum, and he puts a goat skin over a barrel, because in Puerto Rico we have barrels, right? And in Martinique, right, they do ballet, right? And Guadeloupe they do waka. These are all barrel drums. Come from what? The African diaspora.
Yes.
So, you know,
we are the rhythm people.
Yes.
We are the rhythm people.
Yes. So we're divided by our colonizers, and we get confused sometimes by the colors of our skin. But we are divided by colonizers. We have different languages, but when we remove our colonized language, and we get, this is what we call soul music, when we connect to the soul, it connects to us, and then we connect.
The sister here that wants to resurrect a Black Wall Street, how do we teach them to communicate with the brother here that's interested in political parties in Nigeria? Art is a universal language. It's also that spirit of rhythm. If we can all go back to that first drum, that heartbeat inside your chest, and hear that we are the rhythm people, I think that's the first step to engage in conversations like these. We're all here today because you wanted to know more about how to galvanize the resources that we have within our community to have conversations like this. I think it's important that we realize that the human resource is the greatest resource. We are the rhythm people. We are all we need. I have to say this, I probably should. The sister said that we should look at how we can buy investments in Wall Street and how we can build Wall Street. How are we looking to buy investment in Africa? All the resources that we have are in each other. They're right here in this room. I may not know one person with $1 million, but I know 1 million people, and they all have $1. And if we just pool our resources together, we have all the resources we'll ever need. We're the largest population on the face of this earth. If we can connect our cultural heritage in that spirit of rhythm and realize what we have in common, that the spokes of this wheel work, and whether we decide to take our platform to the United Nations or the world stage, as long as we're in communication, we've done our job. And so if you haven't learned anything from Brother Cliff's presentation, or if you decide to participate in the 6th Region Diaspora Caucus organization, please know that the most important element of this conversation is that we stay in communication. And we may never agree, we may never find a resolution, but if we stay connected in conversation, I think our job has been done, at least to set that platform for the next generation. Again, I'm Kim Poole, and I will have information about my initiative. We don't have time to discuss all that today, but if you are an artist and you're interested in supporting this movement or using your art to integrate into community for social transformation, again, being better because we've experienced conflict, being better because we've gone through the thick of the Ma'afa, or whatever you use within your language to find the problems that we've experienced, then definitely connect with me. I'll be here with newspapers. Thank you very much.
Okay, you will greet him. Lekunzi Abraham, Elder Lekunzi Abraham. Yeah. Okay.
Liberia is the only country in Africa that came out of African American experience. But unfortunately, Liberia has never had a Pan-Africanist policy since the 60s. Okay, so you see most African Americans now traveling to Ghana because they see maybe the cultural policy, the political policy in Ghana, it kind of suited to African American experience. And that has to go back to Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, where he emphasized so much on Pan-Africanism and not only in Africa, but Africa in the diaspora. So his foreign policy regarding African American experience was quite different from Liberia. So a lot of Liberians today are like, I think you've seen most of my writing, I always say that, why is it when Liberians talk about their close relationship with America, it is not between Liberia and the black community in America, but it's between Liberia and their former slave masters, the white people in America, the power structure. That's the unfortunate situation in Liberia.
I'm getting ready to call him now, but my battery's about to die, so. Okay.
Hey! Yeah.
667 227 1226. All right, thanks. Ishak around Hannibal, he ain't got but one brother.
Thank you. I just want to give a hand clap. Using our drums, using that heartbeat, the first drum inside our chest. That's how we give hand clap and acknowledgement for the rhythm people, our global nation of African people, wherever we are geographically. As long as you have that heartbeat inside your chest, it will remind you of that universal language. I don't speak an African language as a Black woman living here in Baltimore, though my dada Odilia does help me with the Swahili classes from the International African School. But what I know is that as long as I can hear that heartbeat inside my chest, that it is a universal language that will always remind me of where the center is, of where home is. In the beginning was heart drum. With this vibration, we gave rhythm to the world. We are the rhythm people. And it's so important that we remember that, especially on this Kwanzaa celebration day of Umoja in the diaspora. Because in addition to us working to ensure that African people awaken their ancient memory and remember who they are and where they come from, we're also working to facilitate dialogue and open the lines of communication with our African brothers and sisters who have recently repatriated, or should I say, come into the diaspora to join us. There's a major divide between continental Africans like my sister Odilia from Kenya living in the Netherlands and the historic diaspora, diasporians like myself, Africans that were a part of the Ma'afa, that were a part of the transatlantic enslavement trade and are living now their lives in the diaspora, and a part of the Umoja, a part of the Umoja that has to happen for us to unite the global African community is that we have to learn to open those lines of communication again, and rhythm can facilitate that dialogue for us. It is a symbol that we have to use to remind ourselves of that heartbeat, that first drum, because we were divided historically. There were many cultures, many languages, many customs and traditions within Africa, but we were also united with our respect for the ancestral realm, with our respect for nature. And in order for us to take our rightful places to help realign humanity with balance in nature, it's important that we find a way to reconnect. It is important for our survival. It is important for our trajectory. It is important for Afrofuturism that African people globally find their sanctity, find their solution in each other. We are each other's solution. We are all we need. We have to remember that in this global African Kwanzaa Day. I know that it's so late in Tanzania, in Bagamoyo. So I want to bring in our performers now and have my sister Odilia speak with her permission after they perform and welcome us back home. Sometimes when you go back home, it reminds you of your center. We just traveled to Tanzania. Yes, we were in Tanzania just 1 month ago with our brothers and sisters there, reminding us of why African people are the foundation, are the cradle of civilization. Black women in your womb are the foundation of all creation. I want my sheroes to help us remember that today. Magamumoto, Tanzania, are you there?
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Hello.
All right, we're gonna spotlight your camera and prepare for the karabuni.
Okay, now.
If you are not performing with Magamomoto today, please mute your microphone. We heard a few microphones in the background during the video clip. So please mute your microphones if you are not a part of the performance. Thank you so much. I'll start by leading the example and mute my own.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening. It's already night here in Bagamoyo, Tanzania. Karibuni. Habari gani? Sisi tunaitwa Magumamoto, tunafurahi mara ya kwanza kushiriki katika concept hii ya kwanza ambayo inajumuisha Waafrika kutoka maeneo mbalimbali ya duniani. We are happy to cooperate with you on celebrating this kind of celebration. We as Africans, and we are in Tanzania, in Africa, the motherland. You know, this is your home, and we are warmly welcome you to come back home. Here is your home, and what we are going to perform is to show you our original culture. So we have to back in our roots. We are Magumamoto. We are in Bagamoyo. Karibu sana. Thank you very much.
I think there's a problem with the sound.
Yes, I agree. I don't know what happened to the brother. They can't hear us. Yeah, it should be much louder.
Hey, please excuse our technical difficulties. As you see, technology is a blessing and a curse. You can see our Tanzanian brothers and sisters on stage performing their heart out, and we don't hear a thing. It seems like something about what's happening with their sound. They've been muted. So we are working on that, guys. Please enjoy this thing and use your imagination with the drumming as we figure out the solution.
Seems we have frozen here. One of the many challenges we have to deal with working on the continent. It may be a Wi-Fi issue. Bear with us as we try to get the stream back here.
Okay, everyone. it looks like once again you see the need for that kuumba. Kuumba means creativity. So we need someone amongst our global African community to find a solution to this Wi-Fi conundrum. We need connectivity, rhythm people. I'm waiting for you to invent this so that I can comfortably move back to the continent. But until we fix that Wi-Fi issue, I'm gonna have to stay with the family here in Baltimore, and that's the truth. I think that we're gonna have to move on from the performance. We will have performances throughout our week-long celebration. We're gonna be here, right here at the same place every day this week, guys. Looks like Ishmael just posted inside of the comment section and said that he is gonna bring that IT assistance that we need. Thank you, Ishmael, shouting you out from the International African School. Thank you so much for your IT support. We will need it this week, as you have seen. I want to take this time to introduce Miss Odilia, and she will have the opportunity to talk about the work of the International African School. You have seen a little about what the Teaching Artists Institute does. In addition to hosting wonderful events like this, we work with artists all over the world to teach them the importance of creativity and ingenuity, not just within their art form, but in the community. This Kwanzaa 2020, I want to remind all artists that you are not only the rhythm people with that heartbeat inside your chest, you are the civic engager. You teach the community how to think, the art of possibility. You give them and empower them with ideas and concepts, and that innovation, that creativity. Every sector in society needs to think like an artist. They need to think like you. And so on this Kwanzaa Day, I want to empower you, our army of teaching artists around the world, including Tanzania, the artists that you just mentioned. They're waiting to partner with you, to connect with you. And so please join our army of teaching artists. And if you're interested in what the Teaching Artists Institute does in community development, in sustainable development, in building networks and resources for artists, definitely reach out to us in the chat box. Send us a message. I think that this is live streaming from the Teaching Artists Institute Facebook page. You can send us a message there. We are the Rhythm People, and we want to say again, Babadi Ghani, and your response to that should be Umoja. Yes.
Umoja.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Queen. At this time, I want to reintroduce Odilia and Yati of the International School, and she will let you know what they are doing over there in Europe to promote and preserve the African identity in the diaspora.
Yes, thank you very much, Kim. My name is Odilia from Kenya, and I live here in the Netherlands, founder of African School, and we are the guardians of the African culture. So when we started this, we thought our African sisters and brothers in diaspora, they must be missing the African culture. So we carry the culture with us. We carry the languages, we carry the history and the culture. And International African School is a place where you can write to us if you want to know about the different cultures of Africa. Africa is huge, but we have connections from South to East to West and North Africa. So Swahili language, if you want to learn, African School is the place to be. We do teach online, so the location doesn't matter. And before I continue, I really would like to honor our brothers and sisters in Tanzania. I was so excited to hear them speak Swahili. And you can see that they use very little to be creative. I'm sure they were using an iPhone. I don't know whether they were having a laptop, and the electricity is an issue. The network is an issue, but they have been able to entertain us at these late hours. And that is the generosity that African people have. That is our culture. We are very generous people, but sometimes we have to watch out how far do we go with our generosity, because the world is not kind. So we have to really guard our generosity too. But I really want to thank our brothers and sisters from Tanzania. And you can go, if you just Google African School Netherlands, you will come to our webpage and you can read all about what we do. We are also trying to bring books from African writers to the diaspora. So we have a shop page. We have very good books written by African children. Some of them are written by African children, but we dedicate the African School only to the African authors, so that our African people of descent in the diaspora can access all this thinking, all the culture from these books. Now, I first heard of Kwanzaa last year, and I had never heard of it. And I believe so many Africans, especially on the continent, have never heard of it. Yet it is such a wonderful celebration that can help build unity among people of African descent wherever they are. It therefore just made sense to introduce Kwanzaa as part of the African School yearly events. We commit ourselves to doing this yearly, and we are hoping to trickle this event down to Africa because we are well connected with the continent. I'm sure all of you have heard about the famous story of the Cunning hare and the tortoise. I believe you have heard it in different versions and learned different lessons from it. In the classic Aesop folktale, the speedy, cocky hare challenges the slow-poke tortoise to a race, and the tortoise shockingly agrees. The race begins. Halfway through the competition, the hare becomes so overconfident at his giant lead that he takes a nap, dreaming of his glorious and easy victory. When the hare awakes, he realizes that the tortoise has passed his napping self and has won the race. What a shame. Slow and steady wins the race, grins the tortoise to the sobbing hare at the finish line. This is the story that most Western children learn, that the value of the story from it. They learn that individual hard work, never giving up in the pursuit of a personal goal, is rewarding. But in African folklore, it is totally different from the Western version. According to Professor Kwame Gyeke, author of the wonderful text, African Cultural Values, the African version of the tortoise and the hare goes something like this. The speedy hare challenged the tortoise to a race. That part is the same. The cruel hare insulted the tortoise for days on end and made it clear that the race winner would surely be Mr. Hare. The African tortoise gathered around him all of his tortoise friends and family and declared the following. This is a matter that affects not only me, but the honor of every tortoise. If I win, then the glory will go to our family. Will you all help me so that I can win? The tortoise let out a resounding yes, and a plan was hatched. All along the road, for all the miles of the race, the members of the tortoise family hid themselves, and the race began. The hare shot off down the road in a cloud of dust and covered 40 yards before he turned back to gloat at the tortoise. But what was this? There was no tortoise behind him. The hare turned back around and gasped, for ahead of him was the little tortoise singing a jolly little song as it trotted forward. No, how could this be? The hare sped up and was about to overtake the tortoise when he turned around again to check how far he had gone. When he turned back around again, no, the tortoise had gained 50 more yards and was far ahead. His pattern was repeated for the entire race. And when the utterly exhausted hare finally threw himself across the finish line, he nearly vomited when he saw that the tortoise had arrived before him and was already being crowned champion. The triumphant tortoise gave the following speech to all of the overjoyed animals. My victory was the triumph of unity and cooperation. We won because we all stuck together. Why do you keep saying we? Asked the king who had arranged the race. The tortoise responded, every member of my family and every one of my friends gave me their support so that we were able to win. Of course, in the end, everyone realized that the tortoise had won because, you guess it, his family members were hiding along the race route to impersonate him in the road ahead whenever the hare turned his back. Now, while this seemed like the triumph of deception over truth, the overall message is why, let us face it, the hare was individualistic and overconfident, while the tortoise was wise, loving, and a community collaborator. As Professor writes, the point of this folktale is that when people cooperate together, they can overcome all kinds of obstacles. Together, they can achieve better goals. It is no hidden fact that the people of African descent are the most humiliated. This is a quote by the late Ali Mazrui. Most of them live under poverty line and are discriminated in all sectors of all over the world. If we work together like the tortoise with his family, we shall be able to beat poverty, ignorance, lack of opportunities, and uphold our dignity. The principle of unity is one that cannot be underestimated. And I have seen it work in Kenya where I was born. I have seen housewives come together and support each other. I know of one group that first started contributing money to one person to put up a decent roof on their houses, then went to furnishing their houses from cutlery to curtains to blankets. They moved on to build water tanks for each woman. They then started saving and eventually built a flat of houses and shared among themselves. And these were women who were not working. Some of them were only contributing $1 a month, but they persevered, they stuck together, and they made it. And now they're enjoying their retirement, having never had a job in their lives. I also know of, we have Equity Bank. It's a very famous bank in Kenya. They started as a group of contributions. And I remember there were times when it was so hard to open a bank account. You must have $100. And $100, as you all know in Africa, is a lot of money for many people. When this bank came together, they started lending to the low-income people, and it eventually phased out banks like Barclays. So let us be proud of who we are. Let us not underestimate the strength that we have, the knowledge that our ancestors gave us. And we have it all, spiritually, herbally, we have it. And together, we can be able to beat and reclaim our dignity. Sister Kim, that's all I have to say.
Yes. Asante Sana Dada.
Karibu.
Yes. Sister, you remind me of why we have to continue. 2020 has been a year that has truly tested our ability to unite as a community. We've had no choice but to reconnect. And now we value the importance of connecting because they've told us that we couldn't, because they said social distancing was necessary, was mandatory. And now that legally in most of the regions around the world where we're living, they have told us that connecting is illegal, that disconnecting, your life depends on it. Now we understand of our connectivity. Now we don't take it for granted. I want us to remember our strength and our unity. I loved your story. I loved your story. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And with that, I just want to remind us that we are the rhythm people. Rhythm, rhythm people. I'm calling all rhythm, rhythm people. Rhythm, rhythm people. Rhythm, rhythm people. Thank you guys again. Thank you for the international school. We will see you every day this week, same time, same place. Odelia, I'm reading in the comments. Your message is perfect. We love you. Make sure that we get a screenshot of those Mambo Queens and Kings and Roy. Thank you so much for all of these beautiful comments and encouragement. We look forward to seeing you guys every day here, same place, same time. Tell your friends, tell your community members that we are growing, that the digital divide has been closed. And now Africans globally are celebrating Kwanzaa this 2020. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow to celebrate Kujichagulia, self-determination in the old Kiswahili language. Thank you again. I'm Kim Poole, and I look forward to seeing you.